everyone. We're back. We're back. Had some technical difficulties for the second time. Testing. So we've got people watching to see if we can make sure that doesn't happen again. So, yeah, you guys will have to let us know how it goes. Oh, she's like, yay, it's working. So we're back to normal.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Great. Yeah, I know, right? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Oh, my goodness. How infuriating is that?
See how long we can hang in there this time.
Yeah, okay,
Where
so...
the CIA shuts us down again.
Yeah, they thought they would stop us. They didn't stop us. They just ran off all our viewers.
Yeah.
So...
No big deal. Nobody needs those.
No big deal. Okay, so where was I before I was so rudely interrupted by the Fed?
You were talking about your theory.
Oh, yes, my theory.
Yeah. About the podcasters.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see if we can get through this. So I think Trump, I should say, just as we shall not be moved.
Amen. Let's walk around Jericho a couple more times.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I fear that Trump might actually be trying to shut the podcasters down because he's trying to put the genie back in the bottle, as it were. He wants to bury the Epstein list story, so he wants to kind of make the people who pushed it look like fools a little bit. I hope that's not the case. I do think that somebody wants to make somebody look like a fool. I'm having a hard time believing that Pam Bondi would have been the one to do it because the blowback would have fell on her exclusively. You know, so it's hard for me to believe that she didn't look at the files, she didn't look at the paperwork. And why do the phase 1 thing like when she does, and then the night before say she's got the whole file and she's going to release all of it? Because the night before the whole podcaster debacle, she goes on there and says she's going to release all the files.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you have any media savvy at all, what you would do was, this is just phase 1, and we've got more coming. We're just going to release this out to you as we get it. As we finish filtering through it to make sure victims aren't caught up in the whole mess. You know, we're going to give it to you in phases. Like, she would have teed the whole phase thing off. You know, if there had been some kind of knowledge, I guess. Like, well, if she had been the one trying to push the podcast, like making the podcasters look foolish, she would have at least tried to, you know, frame it in such a way that they assumed that there was new information, but she never technically said that, and she said she was just releasing everything in waves, and I brought it up on Jesse Waters or whatever. Like, she would have covered herself because you would think she would have been scared of the, you know, blowback. Because what happened is the podcasters weren't shut up at all. Nobody blamed Jack Posobiec or Liz Wheeler or whoever. Nobody blamed those people. They blamed Pam Bondi. She wound up looking foolish. And it's kind of hard for me to imagine that she did all that thinking that it was going to work. The whole thing screams a mistake to me. So it's like she said she was going to release all of it. And then it's almost like somebody, Donald Trump, or maybe somebody from the CIA, somebody above Pam Bondi, I don't know who that would be, was like, no, actually, you're going to do this. Or, no, actually, this is just information that we already released. Like, somebody came in and told her at the 11th hour what was really going on. She went, oh, crap, and then printed out the phase 1 thing as a reaction. Because had there really been a phase plan, as it were, she would have teed that off. She made so many media appearances. She would have had every opportunity to tee that off. So I kind of think that this was something that was done at the last minute. She tried to cover herself, but I think they were trying to put her in a situation where it was like going to be framed as a mistake, but in the end the podcasters would look bad. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I think the end goal was to make the podcasters look bad, but Pam Bondi might not have been in on that plan.
Yeah. I mean, it checks out historically. Like, everybody knows that, like, the CIA coined the term conspiracy theorist or whatever, like in the 70s or however that story goes. Everybody's heard that.
Yeah.
So it would check out that they're just sowing doubt, and then they have like a patsy oh, it's a conspiracy,
Yeah,
blah blah blah. I
maybe
mean,
that's the
it's
better way to put it. She's a
same story over
patsy.
and over.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she is the patsy. Maybe she's meant to be the fall person and
Yeah.
always has been meant to be the fall person.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know. It is those reporters were clearly put in that position where they were to photograph the podcasters. They were planted there ahead of time. And the only reason they would be planted there ahead of time, because the podcasters didn't know they were grabbing the Epstein files. They didn't know that they were going to be receiving that stuff. They thought they were just going to get to shake the president's hand, and then they were given those files by surprise. It was a 15-minute meeting, just long enough to hand them the folders, and not even long enough for them to look at the folders. So they didn't know what was going to happen, but somebody had to have, because they were rushed out the back of the White House, which is weird, and there are reporters waiting for them.
Yeah.
That screams a setup.
Why are the reporters at the back?
Yeah, that screams a setup. But it's hard to imagine Pam Bondi actually not realizing that the blowback was going to land on her, because obviously all those podcasters were going to point at her and go, well, she just gave us these things.
Yeah.
I have a hard time imagining she, even in her own mind, would have thought that would have worked. Again, that kind of goes back into the whole attributing motive, or assuming stupidity, I should say. Like, you're just assuming she's an idiot. And it's like, well, maybe she is or isn't an idiot. I don't know. But she still had a point of view. So what was her point of view? What was she trying to accomplish? What did she honestly think was going to happen? Did she really not believe that any of that blowback was going to land on her? That's hard for me to imagine,
Right.
personally.
So, like, she didn't know that the folders were going to get handed to podcasters.
Well,
Now she's running around trying to save her face.
yeah, like she didn't, she didn't know what was going to happen exactly. And then somebody told her something at the 11th hour. She went, oh, crap, and basically Xeroxed those phase 1 sheets of paper and slapped them in the trapper keepers before sending, or the folders, the binders, before sending the podcasters on their way. It just seems like this was a vindictive attack against those podcasters to humiliate them. But the blowback landed on the White House when it wasn't intended to. And so either it was it had to be somebody above Pam Bondi, because I think her mistake is indicative of somebody reacting to a situation and coming up with a solution at the last minute. So I don't think she's the one that made the call. It was somebody above her, but how many people are above her? That's the question. The only person I can think of is Trump. If there's somebody else, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So,
I don't either.
all right, somebody talk besides me, because I don't want to just show my ignorance all night.
Well, man, I don't know anything about this story. I'm learning stuff from you.
Yeah, I'm learning as well.
Well, that is terrifying. Anyway,
The only thing I know about it is from what I listened to on the other guy that did a deep dive into the video that was released.
that's right.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
that's the
let's
other
watch that.
aspect of this. We have a
Haven't seen it.
video.
Look at-
Yeah, so this is, for those who may be jumping in, there was a prior half of this podcast that the CIA found and botched. So we're starting up with part 2.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So
Allegedly, we don't want to be conspiracies.
So yes. So the next part of this is they had the video. Remember, Cash and Dan were screaming, "There's a video. We're going to show that there's no way somebody murdered him. He had to have killed himself." So they show the video, and then turns out that not only did they cut a minute out of it for some reason, it's not even, the camera's not even pointed to the right door. So
Yeah.
surprise, surprise, nobody bought it. I'm amazed they were stupid enough to even try this, but
It's on the door to exit, like the whole cell
like, dude,
block.
as good as AI is now, like, why wouldn't they just make a fake video as opposed to this?
because these people think you're dumb and they think they don't have to.
I guess. Yeah.
That has to
Just
be
a
what
bunch
it is.
of rednecks.
And maybe that's why it was Pam Bondi. Maybe Pam Bondi is the type who believes that you're so stupid that she can just lead you by the nose. But the American people have learned how all this media stuff goes. And so maybe she really thought everybody would just blame the podcasters. Maybe she really was that dumb because of just arrogance.
Yeah.
That is entirely possible. Anyway.
The Department of Justice and the FBI released the 11-hour camera footage of the Special Housing
Zorro?
Unit, or SHU, where Jeffrey Epstein was being held.
What?
I said, is that Zorro?
Zorro.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
We don't know. Zorro wore a mask.
The
his name
night
is
that
Jesus.
he
Hilarious.
offed himself, and we already have a lot of questions, and I will
Oh, he's
answer
got a lot of
every
the good
single one
stuff,
of them
Trevor.
in
Good
this
night.
analysis.
Oh
Questions
yeah,
such
he
as
does.
there were people who went
He gets
in
in
the
deep.
SHU but never left, or what is exactly the angle that we are looking at in this video. Not to mention that strange hooded figure that
I'm an idiot 'cause I
concealed
forgot to
their
switch this
identity. I
over.
don't know if I he or a she, and
That was
then
just
got
pure
out
stupidity.
of the SHU. Strange. Or perhaps one of the most disturbing questions of all. Why is there a full minute missing from the footage?
See, I want to point that out. When she was responding to that full minute missing, she said it was the computer switching over. But it switches over at 58:58. The computer wouldn't do that. It's going to switch over on the minute to the second automatically. It's not going to be off by 2 seconds. So there had to be a cut. It had
A
to
whole
be.
minute, not 2 seconds.
Well, if it was the computer doing it, it would have been at 11:59 exactly to 12. It would have been exactly 60 seconds because it's automated. It wouldn't have been 11:58:58. It's like,
That's
why would a clock
stopping the
reset?
microwave
Yeah.
before it's done.
Why would a clock reset at that time? That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah.
That Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, and Pam Bondi said was going to be raw and unedited. Hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language analysis and tips. Let's get down to it. First of all, remember that more than 1 month ago, Dan Bongino had already stated that they were going to release the video after some cleanup.
It was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Yeah, I don't know why it took so long to clean up a video that is going to show nothing, right? And when I say nothing, I will remind you that Cash Patel has said not once but twice that
I love listening to other people. That's such a good catch. Why do you need to clean up a video that says nothing? And all
the
our
same
talking, we
reason-
never caught that.
For the same reason that it took 8 years for the Zapruder film to come out.
Right. just for those of us who are stupid, explain why that would be.
I don't know.
Oh. Well, aren't we stupid?
We are.
No, they obviously... I was under the impression they zoomed in on Kennedy to hide the guy in the front seat shooting him. That's one thing I heard. So... that took a long time.
Yeah, good.
So
8 years.
yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. Wow. Yeah.
Epstein indeed killed himself.
But there is a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There are.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria, you said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you, he killed himself.
That's a funny shot.
When you slow it down, it's so obvious they're lying. It's disgusting. Oh my
Like
gosh.
literally through their teeth.
He's like, he looks like he's about to get hit by a car. Wow. Huh.
So we're already off to a rough start here. And by the way, didn't they say that the cameras pointed at Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell didn't work? And that is the first question that I will clarify for you right now. To understand the angle of the footage that the Department of Justice and the FBI released.
How the jail cell is set up now.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
It
would
doesn't
be
even look
good.
like a jail cell. It looks like a
It's
somebody's
the
man
whole
cave.
it's the whole block, like the cell block.
Yeah.
He's gonna explain all that.
Well, it's a weird setup too, because this is actually like a lower story here. Like if you look, you can tell there
Oh,
are
it is. I thought
people-
it was a desk.
I did too for a long time. It took forever to kind
Okay.
of figure
I
out
see that now.
it's actually a lower story, and this is railing. So
Gotcha.
you've got a trash can here, you've got a prisoner here, and 2 guards here. I believe this is supposed to be Epstein.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
Why
he
was he-
explains it all.
Why was he up walking around outside his jail cell at 11:59 at night?
Because he didn't kill himself. So,
So we need to get our bearings about what is the layout of the special housing unit and Epstein's cell block. So the best way to do this is to look at the map, so to speak, of how it's organized, how the SHU is organized, and it's about 6 cell blocks that are organized in pairs, one on top, one on the bottom, as you can see them. You can see one of the cell blocks here, a second one, and the third one, and the other part of the map. This is, for the staircases, the elevators, the part of the, let's say the reception to that special floor, that particular floor of the SHU. And in this cell block, on the one on top, you got Epstein's cell. You see it here on red. And this space in yellow will be like the mini hallway of that cell block, where you can see the cells themselves. I'm going to show you this picture that will be really illustrative of this. Remember the space, the yellow space in here. If you stand in front of the cell block, this is what you're going to see right in front of you. I'm going to make sure that you look at everything so you understand where are we sitting. First of all, first thing that we were talking about, a broken camera, a camera that didn't work. Well, there's one camera at the end of every cell block. And it turns out that that camera is right here at the end, but that camera didn't work. How convenient, right? But well, it doesn't matter. So we know that the footage released by the DOJ is not the one from that camera, but because that camera did not work. We see a bunch of doors here. It's important to make a distinction between the doors of the jail cells themselves and the utility and crawl space doors. If you see, for example, this door, the 219, you see that there's a window, right, where you can see inside, and the inmate can look outside as well. You got this slot to handcuff people safely, and you also have a slot in case that you have to handcuff them in the feet as well. You also have some of them who only have slots for handcuffing the hands, and you also have these doors which are pretty much nondescript, like they have nothing. They have like this one. Oh, how interesting. These are the utility or crawl space doors. This one, like here, I marked this in white. You see that there are 2 jail cell doors, and there's one utility door in the middle. Why? What are these utility doors for? And this is important. These utility doors are because if you need to fix the plumbing or the electricity, or, this is important, the ventilation of any of the cells, you want to be able to do that without having to open the cell and having to get the inmate out. You can then just go through the utility and crawl space door, and you have access to electricity, plumbing, ventilation system, everything of both of those cells. And you see that there's one utility crawl space door every 2 cells. Very practical. That is part of the design. So now you have a very good idea of what was like Jeffrey Epstein's cell block. One thing is that this is taken straight from the document that the FBI released on the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein killing himself. And by the way, Epstein's cell is a 2020 and it's off screen. It was maybe cropped in purpose, but that's why you see here 219. There would be another utility door and then Epstein's cell block. But this is enough to understand where are we sitting. Now you can see this. This is Epstein's cell, though. Here's where we were standing. And this is from the floor. This is like the ground floor where, the guards, the officers could see the entrance to every single group or couple of cell blocks. And right from there, you can see that if you are in that ground floor, you are looking at Jeffrey Epstein's cell block, which was on top and was the L tier. Right there, you see that was Jeffrey Epstein's cell block. It's a bit hard to spot, but this is also important. There's a gate here. You see that there's this bars, this gate that is open right now. There's a gate to access the cell block after the staircase. The staircase that goes up and one that goes down. The exact same thing, but Jeffrey.
So, can you guess the camera angle yet?
Nope.
Well, that's the railing that we saw in the previous shot. That right there, those gray bars. Can't really see it on the stream, but yeah, right there. Those stairs go up. That door is there. In other words, and then Jeffrey Epstein's door is in the hall. So when you see cops moving in and out of a particular door, they're not moving into a cell. They're going down the block where Epstein was. So the camera's not even looking at Epstein's door cell at all. And there's 2 utility doors that you could get to from the other side of the hallway. So if somebody were to kill him, somebody would just have to open the utility doors that were right under that broken camera and enter his cell from the other side of the camera we're looking at, and nobody would ever know. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let me try. Let me try this again. Okay, you can see my arrow on the screen. All right. So this is the camera, if I'm understanding this correctly. This is L tier. This is S tier. So if I'm understanding this correctly, here's the stairs, right? So, no, wait.
Okay.
Basically, from what I'm understanding, we'll see if he corrects it, but from what I'm understanding, the camera is essentially looking at the railing, like the other side of the stair. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So, here's the railing that we were looking at from the camera. Here's the door. The camera is up in the back corner. Basically, they're showing you the entrance to the hallway, but they're not showing you the entrance to his actual cell.
Okay.
And so, let's say that this one right here is Epstein's hallway, right?
Yeah.
His cell is here, but there's like here's the broken camera, and there's like utility doors back here.
Right.
So if somebody were to kill him, then hypothetically they could just go through the utility doors or hide in the utility doors and go from his cell from the other side, and the camera would never see him because the camera's not recording the hallway. It's just recording the entrance to the hallway. And so the broken camera would just so happen to be the right camera because someone could sneak in through those back doors. Does that make more sense?
Maybe.
Or hide in those utilities. Well, let's keep listening to him because apparently I'm full of crap. So...
Epstein was on top. So far, so good, right? We move on, and this is the view from the officer's desk, the officer's station. Here's where they sat down and maybe take it easy. You can rest. There's a mini fan in there and maybe a telephone. All right, and from that, I'm going to go here. This is the officer's desk. You see that what a coincidence that they had Epstein's cell right in front of them. I mean, I think there was the only cell that they had right in front of them sitting here. This is the officer station. You just had to, it's like raise your gaze, and you had right there, jail cell 2020, Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Again, we move on. And this is the other angle. This could be from Jeffrey Epstein's cell looking down into the officer's station. You see, now you can see very clearly the gate that had access, that granted access to the cell block. I really want you to understand where are we sitting here, because when you see this video, when the first moment I saw this video, I had already
I was
studied
wrong
all
about a
this
certain point, but
many months ago.
Okay, I think I realized what I misunderstood, but we'll just keep watching because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again.
I began studying the Jeffrey Epstein case. So when I saw the footage released from the DOJ, I was lost. I mean, what is this? This doesn't look like a cell block. This doesn't look like the real thing. Where are we? And what is this 46 in here? I don't get it. So there's one way, very easy way to understand, and I mark it for you. You remember the location of Epstein's cell. You remember the location of the officer station. Well, the angle of the camera that we're about to analyze comes from the exact opposite corner of the shoe. There's the officer station. The opposite corner is right here. And here's the camera.
Dude, it was worse than I thought. So it was literally on the other side. The camera was literally on the other side of the building. It wasn't even in the entrance to the hallway. It was on the other side of the building.
Right, because
Yeah.
that it doesn't look right.
Yeah. Okay, well, ignore everything I said. That's worse than what I thought. I thought they were showing us the entrance to the hallway.
No, the camera we're seeing.
Those doors we're seeing are like the doors are at a 45.
It's across the
Wow.
whole cell block,
And there's
and
not
we
even
don't
any windows in 'em.
actually. Yeah, we don't actually get to see his cell at all.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's the only camera that was working, I guess.
Yep.
Dang
They
those cameras.
really
It's not like
thought-
we're in the age of cameras.
They really
can't-
thought
can't make it
anybody
work.
would be convinced by that. I'm still giving them too much credit. I thought they would at least give us like an entryway or something. No,
Oh, it
allegedly,
gets worse.
clear across the
guy-
complex.
The guy in the orange is supposed to be Epstein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see what direction he's heading.
Holy crap.
Of the video that we're going to analyze. So much, that's how important is to understand where are we standing. That is very important. And that's how you see these tiny things. Maybe you don't know how to read maps, but these tiny things that looks like shark fins are doors that
Shark
open
fins.
and the way that they open. And this one that I'm marking here is going to be easier if you look at this. See this way. Okay, is the door marked 46, and that is the only way of getting in and out the shoe floor. That's going to be really important from now on. So try to remember that. Door 46 is the only way of going in and out. So we are there. There's the camera. So when we take a look at it again, and here, all right, we see the angle. What is the angle? This angle I have marked in yellow. You see that there's like two 45-degree angles or something like that. And door 46 is in the middle. And now you see the footage. Oh, now we understand where are we. There's door 46. There's the angle. And what is right here at the far end? You guess it right. If you guess it, well, congratulations. This is the officer's station. If you can make that out. That is important. Again, I thought that it was really, really critical to understand the angle so we can understand everything that happens from now on. And before we move forward, let me see. All right. It's important to understand. This is critical.
We will not be defeated. We are going to finish this stream even if it kills us, and it might. Apologies, everyone. Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Tri-F Podcast, where we try not to let the Fed F it up. So basically, this last time the first time we had a horrible lag we couldn't explain, and so we had to restart the stream. And then the next time, I lost electricity. So, yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Not conspicuous.
Yeah, not conspicuous at all. So we're going to keep going. We were talking about the cell, the camera. I'd made a fool of myself by thinking the camera was in some sort of lobby that led to the hallway to Epstein's cell block. I was wrong. I wasn't nearly cynical enough. I thought it was in the lobby area. Apparently, it was on the other side of the Dad Blame building. So, yeah, again, you can't believe they thought they could pull that off.
Yep.
Anyway, And here's the joke of it, guys, because now you know why they cut the minute out. It was while they were awkwardly lugging Epstein's body away from the cell. They didn't want you see him carrying the corpse.
Well, in the video, he was walking. So
Yeah, in the video, he's walking. He's walking.
he's alive and well.
All right, here we go. Let's see if I
listen to
can. Let's see if we can get
Jesus
through
and
this.
Diego Montoya.
Yeah, well, he's doing a great job. He's doing a
He
great
is,
job.
I like the guy.
Yeah.
That is going to be important later on. If you're not, if it's too hard to spot, I'm sorry about the zoom in and zoom out. That is the access to Epstein's cell block. That is what's going on in the footage that we are going to analyze. Is that crazy? And just in case, for the record, this is also from the document of the FBI. Jeffrey Epstein's cell is 220, and just in case, this is going to be important for some of you. Oh, all this says that these photographs have been modified for privacy reasons. The only way that the photographs that you have seen, for example, the photographs of the staircases, they say that they have modified them in the document of the FBI. It's only to blur ways to identify officers or terms or anything. But this is a structure. This is the real deal. So that is important. Keep that in mind. So we move to the actual analysis, and I guess the best way to start the analysis is to see the last time.
POV. You just
Hey,
learned
look,
how
an
to
ad.
tell if your olive oil is fake.
You've been using olive oil wrong.
I've
last
never asked
time
that.
Jeffrey Epstein was
an ad.
seen alive.
What?
You're an ad.
Well, I just love that. This is the last time you'll wonder if your olive oil is fake. I've never asked that. Not once.
I think it's fair, right? And we know that this is the last time that Jeffrey Epstein was seen alive because the timer marks 7:49 p.m. And according to the document, the full investigation of the FBI, that was the time that Jeffrey Epstein was seen alive one last time. And I'm going to just play this. Maybe we can play this in real time. You see two officers walking this inmate in orange. You see the only way that we can semi confirm that this is Epstein is that, well, his hair was white. We know that his hair.
He had white hairs, guys. It was clearly Epstein. Who else would it have been?
It's obvious.
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, clearly. Wow.
Hair has always been white in
have been
all
somebody.
the pictures. We know that the guy was alive, or at least that's what we think. That was Jeffrey Epstein being led to his cell at 7:49 p.m. that night. The only other thing relevant that happened before that was this lady entering through gate 46. Remember that this is the only gate. The only way to go in and out of the SHU is through gate 46. And we're seeing right now an officer using the phone. You see a phone on the wall. That's the way that you communicate with the officers outside that can open this door. This door can only be opened from the outside. All right, she leaves like a trash bin right there. She waits until the door is open in a minute. It's going to be really quickly. Let's speed.
So see, this is why I thought it was the lobby leading to the cell, because there were people going in and out that were of note, and obviously she's got the trash can, so she's some kind of janitor. So that's why I thought it was like that was the door leading to the hallway or something, which I guess it is, but it's like from a weird sideways angle.
Yeah. Is there another prisoner just walking around in the lobby there?
That's what it looks
I
like.
think so.
Maximum security, guys.
Right.
Not
that's
even a
kinda
guard. Huh.
Odd. Little odd.
Yeah, a little
And
weird.
there's no like code to get out of the door. The signal to get out of the door is just picking up the phone and hanging it up.
Yeah, there's people outside watching the same camera.
Huh.
They unlock the door.
Gotcha.
things up. Just for the record, remember, this is 7:46. You can always see the timer in the lower left corner. This is before Jeffrey Epstein was seen alive the last time. The door is open from the outside, and this female officer goes out with a trash bin through gate 46. So which other event do we have? Where does the wacky stuff begin? We have then 7:56. I'm gonna play this way, maybe in twice the speed. I'm gonna play this as twice the speed because these details are not as important for now. But you see that there are actually people going in and out. And Kash Patel said that there's no way anybody could go in and out, and at least so far so good. It's an officer, right? Should be no big deal, right? And we also have other moments. This moment is going to be important because one inmate at 8:16 p.m. I think that he was collaborating with the cleanup, and he dropped these 2 trash bags.
Hey, Cody, that's your inmate without the guard. He was downstairs a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Not weird.
He's taking out trash. Or maybe he's a, what do you call those? The trusted prisoners?
I don't know.
I can't remember what they call them.
I don't know, but he's a big trusted prisoner to be running around without a guard.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
His clothes don't fit really well either.
Huh?
That uniform doesn't fit him real well either.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Huh.
And I find it interesting that a door that important that closes off the whole shoe of the prison doesn't close by itself. Like she's had to pull it shut.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have a self-closing mechanism.
Yeah.
I find that odd.
Yeah, the whole thing is very weird. Very, very weird. Huh.
But to the side. This is going to be important because someone is going to pick those bags later on, and that someone who's going to pick those bags is important. We move on. We continue. Now we are at 9:07 p.m. and one officer, what is he doing? Oh, he is given some kind of secret paper, or I don't know, schedule, or some kind of folder right below the door. They don't open the door. They just slide maybe an envelope. Maybe it's some kind of random paper. Maybe some kind of document that he needs for the shift. He goes to the door. He doesn't touch the phone because he's not going to request you open the door. Gets the folder, and
what even would that be? Huh.
That's odd.
I don't even know what to make of that. I don't know, but that looks conspiratorial. I think that's conspiratorial. Nothing.
It seems that way.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
Okay, no big deal. Now, what happens now at 9:11? A guy that looks like a maintenance. He doesn't look like an officer. Grabs the phone, asks for permission to get out. I guess that there's a camera.
Wait, hold on.
I guess that there has to be at least one camera.
Yes.
Okay, this is my computer. Continue.
Okay, all right.
Working to see who requests to go out, right? You have to see if you're going to open the door from outside, who is requesting for this to open. So maybe they are looking through this camera that we are looking at right now. It makes sense, right? You have a clear view of whoever is asking for permission to get out. So he has the ability to get out. We can play this at twice the speed, no big deal. And then the same guy enters again at what time? He goes out at 9:12, and he goes in again at 9:15. No big deal. We still have some strange stuff. We see I don't know if it's another female officer or if it's the same female officer that we saw a while ago asking for permission to get out or to leave. They open the door in a minute. This is at twice the speed. And she goes away. And then she enters again at 9:32. No big deal. Maybe it was just a bathroom break. I guess that they did not, the officers don't have bathrooms in there, inside that bar. Now,
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives
look
for my
at
dorm
that.
room and built a Wix website to sell them.
this is the thing. This is one. I think this is the greatest red flag.
What?
Or a knife.
Or a knife. Or a knife.
Of all this video, of the 11 hours of this video, this is hands down one of the most concerning red flags. This video is not continuous. This video was spliced, was cut. And how do we know? Because there's 1 full minute missing from the footage that we were promised that will be a continuous footage, continuous video without interruption, without editing. How do we know? Keep an eye here on the timer. It says 11:58, 50 p.m., right? And we go 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and we guess that we're going to see 11:59, right? That minute, so close to midnight. 5 seconds to go. 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, what happened? What happened in there? We're here. I'm going to do that again. 11:58, 55 seconds p.m. You never get to 11:58, 59 seconds and you just jump. I'm going to zoom in case you miss
this.
it.
This is very
because
important.
This is proof that this video was tampered with in one way or another. There you are. 11:58, 58 jumps to straight to 12 a.m. At some point I thought, okay, maybe it's a glitch of the system. Maybe it shaves off 1 minute, but it's strange that it was not just 1 exact minute. It was 1 minute and 2 seconds. So that is strange in itself. And the other thing that's maybe the system, let's play devil's advocate here. Maybe the system splices the video itself when there's a change from one day to the other. That is a possibility. But then why does the frame, and by the frame I say, look at how the size and the orientation of the frame is going to change. I'm going to rewind this again, so you're going to see how it jumps. 5, 4, 3. Now it's smaller. First was bigger, and now it's smaller. And eagle-eyed body language bodies would have noticed that in the upper right corner of this video, something appeared that hasn't appeared in any other point of the video so far. What is this? This absolutely looks like a menu of a video editing app. You see the usual, what looks like, the backwards. This looks like the fast forward. Will be like the two edges of 2 arrows with it looks like a menu or a menu of some kind. This looks like a pause button, all right? And it is odd, right? Because this should have why is there a menu of a video editing app or any app going inside this? And you know what is the worst part?
Okay, we're going to stop it there. If you want to watch the rest of this, it is all the inconsistencies in Jeffrey Epstein's cell block video by the body language guy, who I highly recommend because this is an excellent, excellent presentation.
It actually gets worse than that too.
Really?
Yeah, later on there's somebody that walks in and out in a hoodie. You can't even see their face.
Huh. Well, let me see if I can find that guy.
That's not protocol. Hey, Gary, you're not sharing your screen, so I'm having to watch it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've been watching it on the live.
My mistake, guys. It's been a weird night.
Rough evening.
Rough evening, yeah. Ah! Okay, we're back. Okay, can you see me now? Or see it now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll try to find the hoodie guy, but I want people to go watch the Body Language Guy's YouTube channel, so we won't play the rest of it.
Pretty good. Jesus Indigo Montoyas. He killed your father. Or something like that.
I got that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got another big fella.
Bag, and he goes out with the same bag. But was no reason to fix that bag, but he did. And one last thing before Jeffrey Epstein was found dead, this strange hooded figure that I assume is a woman enters again and takes, I think that she takes the hoodie out after she has gone in front of the camera. I don't know if this is a she or if this is a he.
He's got that hoodie pulled tight.
But it is so...
Oh, yeah.
It is so strange that a hooded figure... you could use a hoodie or have your identity concealed by going in front of the only camera that was working. All right, so...
And then this...
I guess...
He knew the camera was there. Did you see him loosen the hood the second he was out of the frame?
100%.
Oh my goodness.
Like it was normal for that bit to be the only camera.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh my gosh.
That is the thing. And now we arrive at the moment in which Jeffrey Epstein is found dead. This is the last clip for today. How do we know this is the clip? Well, it's 6:34 in the morning, and you see that there's more movement. You see that we have like 3 or 4 people in here. I'm going to zoom in and play this at twice the speed, maybe 4x the speed. So you can notice that there's more movement. You see there's some kind of distress. They're going back and forth. And they push the chair. They begin making calls. Nobody's going out. Nobody comes in. But they already know that it's obvious that they already know that the guy was dead. So that's what we have so far. Again,
and note, none of those people went through that door, which means there was another way into that cell, the stairway that we couldn't see.
Yeah.
So there were multiple ways into that corridor, and we only got to see one of them. And in that one, they cut the footage, and there's a creepy guy with his hood drawn tight walking in the middle of the camera.
Yeah, who wears a hoodie into a maximum security prison?
Exactly.
Play with that.
And then loosens the hoodie the second he's out of frame.
I think he had a shrink ray in his pocket, and he shrunk Jeffrey Epstein down and put him in that trash bag, and they carried him out of there.
I think there were some thuggish stooges who awkwardly carried his corpse out of the frame for that minute. Or Mike Myers just opened the door with a butcher knife.
Yeah.
Right.
Holy crap. Wow. Yet there was nothing to see. Remember how adamant they were. This is supposedly the video. This was supposedly the video that convinced Cash and Dan there was nothing. There was nothing weird there. No missing minute. No creepy guy in a hoodie. No giant lurch of an inmate waddling in with trash bags with nobody guarding him. Nothing weird at all. Holy crap. Wow.
Pretty wild.
Wow. Oh, wow.
There's more that we missed that we jumped past, but yeah.
I know, but people gotta go watch this guy. This is a fantastic video, and he did a lot of work. So you need to go see his video.
He watched the whole 11 hours and shared that with us. So
that is insane.
That's what he does for a living. So
yeah,
that is insane.
That's wild.
Yeah. They need to release the files. That's the bottom line. And this isn't going to go away. I mean, I ain't voting for him. I ain't voting for anybody that Trump endorses. Nothing until these files are released. Yep. Like, Because you can't. Like, you can't sit there and say, we're going to let you guys make a deal when it comes to kids being tortured and killed or whatever was going on out there. You don't let people get off of crimes just because they're rich.
Yeah.
I don't care if the economy crashes. You don't do that.
Yep.
I mean, we all know that. Don't need me to say it. But, I mean, I guess it should be said because, I mean, they just think you're stupid and you're going to forget. But this story hasn't went away in 6 years. It ain't going away now.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
just...
still relevant. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like clearly a lie. Like,
Yeah.
somebody needs to fess up.
Yeah. Trump going, are we still talking about this guy?
Why don't you guys pay attention to the floods in Texas?
Yeah.
It's way more important.
Oh my gosh, guys, just you want to root for the man, but I'm just disgusted. Like, I don't have another word. I'm disgusted. And now I'm sitting here like everything that this guy has done during the campaign and everything else gets reframed because he won't release these files. People went to jail for him. People refused to flip for him. See, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Owen Schroyer. Alex Jones owes somebody more than the GDP of India. And
Wow.
and all of these people didn't roll, didn't flip, didn't turn their back on Donald Trump because he said he was going to drain the swamp, and everybody understood that the way you drain the swamp was by releasing these tapes and arresting the people that were committed the crimes and undoing the blackmail racket that the intelligence agencies have clearly set up.
Yep.
This is a giant honeypot operation. Everybody knows it. And if you want to actually create policies that benefit our country again, you have to actually get rid of these kinds of strong-arm tactics these kinds of strong-arm tactics these guys use against politicians that implement policies that are destructive to the country.
Yep.
That
No way I
makes
could have said it better.
Yeah. Thank you. This is how you drain the swamp. This is how. You cut the head off the snake. This is the head of the snake. And this is the rabbit
Step
hole.
one.
And look, why do you think that they tried to get rid of Sound of Freedom, too? You remember when the movie The Sound of Freedom came out? They tried to bury that, even though it didn't have any real political messages to it.
Who tried to bury it?
Left. Same people. It's like, oh, this movie's super Christian and blah, blah, blah. You know,
Yeah,
the same kind of typical pressure tactic stuff. Yeah. But why? Why be opposed to the movie? Because it shows the method of operation these guys use. And what that means is these guys buy islands and they ship rich people to the islands to go after kids. This is something that is done throughout the world. Epstein had the island. He has a list of 1,000 people that were victims. He has the rich people being shipped to the island. And then on top of all that weirdness, which is like standard operating procedure as far as global trafficking is concerned, he has all this weird esoteric cult stuff, creepy pagan temples and cherubs and everything else, like crying cherubs and everything else.
Yeah.
So this guy clearly wasn't just going after the 16 going on 17 or the barely legal types. Like, there were actual kids here. There were real victims here. And you don't make deals with people who are willing to do that, period.
Right.
Like, it's just insane to even entertain that.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm done. And I think the Fed gave up.
I think they did.
Yeah.
We made it through.
So,
we did. So,
Yeah,
do
just,
we want to
keep an eye on the outside of your houses tonight.
I fully intend to be sniped, but
I'm closing my door.
I didn't off myself, but they'll say I did anyway. So anyway, I shot 3 times
Gary
in the
didn't
head.
kill himself. I'm saying
Yeah.
it first.
It does have a good ring to it, though. It's kind of a.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sweet.
so do we want to keep going or we want to call it a night, guys? Because we've had a heck of
call
a
it a
night.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
my computer is glitching on
Yeah.
me.
We've been limping along. So, well,
Trevor's
hopefully.
Ep screen didn't kill itself either.
Yeah.
I did figure out what was wrong with it, though.
Well, what was the
you
matter?
did?
What was the matter?
Someone, not me, changed my display settings.
Windward.
Windward. Yeah.
Somebody was messing. That was weird. That was weird. So, all right, guys. I think that's everything I've got. I've yelled long enough. I'm glad we
see
did
y'all
this.
next week.
All right.
See y'all
Been a good
next
show.
week
All
for
right.
some more.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Deuces.
you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.